everyone, it's Bree and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I thought we'd talk about something that I find very fascinating, and it's 5 ways to maximize your writing time. The first point I want to talk about is actually making yourself a schedule. Well, planning ahead doesn't directly give you more time, but it will help you become more consistent with your writing and allow you to free up other time elsewhere in your life. I'm not saying you have to always make sacrifices in your life to become a writer, because that's simply not true. But if you plan ahead, and let's, for example, say on Tuesday evening, you're going to write from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., then that's a designated time slot for your writing. Now, the question is, what happens if something comes up? Maybe your friend asks what you're doing Tuesday evening. Well, this is where willpower is going to have to come into play. You're going to have to make the decision, do I go out with my friend or do I do my writing? I personally find planning something ahead gives authority over myself to say, you know what, I'm actually working that evening, I can't tonight, how about tomorrow? And while you don't always have to make these sacrifices, but sometimes it's necessary to get something done. Just like if you have to go to your 9-to-5 job, you can't go hang out with your friend during the day either. It will all depend on where your priorities are. I'll use myself as an example. For the last year, I've been able to create completely my own schedule. I was working only casually at a hospital and managing my writing career. Both things I could pick and choose when I wanted to work and when I didn't want to work. Sometimes the hospital would call me asking to pick up a shift, and sometimes I would actually say no because I might have something very specific planned for my writing day and I didn't want to compromise that. There were also plenty of times where my friends might have been like, hey, what are you doing this Saturday? And I would have said, well, from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. I'm actually writing, or I would just simply say I'm working, so I'm free after that. That was totally cool with them. It's all about compromise. However, now, starting next week, I will actually be going back to full-time work, so my writing schedule is going to look a whole lot different. I won't be as loosey-goosey with it, and I'll have to keep to a stricter schedule. I'll have less time to actually work on my books during the week. Now, at first I was looking at this like a bad thing. However, I'm someone that actually works really well with a structure, so it actually might help improve me. Finding that consistency is key. In 2020, I saw a video from Brandon Sanderson. He has a 14-video lecture series on YouTube from his class at BYU. In the very first video, he talks about being consistent. And he told his class, on average, the typical writer can write about 500 words per hour. Now, using that, if you only have 4 hours a week to write, you could write, on average, 2,000 words per week. And the average novel is approximately 100,000 words, meaning if you did that every single week, you would have a full novel within a year. If you can only do 2 hours per week, it might take you 2 years. But using that, it becomes so easy to visualize and conceptualize. If you break it down that way, the goal of writing a novel will seem a lot easier to achieve. I'm not saying writing a novel is easy, because trust me, it's not. I've been trying to work on one for a long time. But if you keep to a schedule and be consistent and set boundaries with your friends and family, as well as yourself, then the goal becomes a lot easier. This next point has 2 parts. So I'm going to be talking about driving or commuting. If you have a long commute to work, or maybe you're going on a road trip, you can use that time as an opportunity for one of 2 things. Number 1, you can use it as an opportunity to learn. You can listen to podcasts, audiobooks, YouTube videos, though I don't recommend watching the YouTube video while you drive, but you could certainly listen to it as if it's a podcast. Keep your dang eyes on the road. I do not condone watching videos or texting while driving. Please just use the opportunity to learn and listen. The second part is, perhaps you're someone that's good with dictation. If you can dictate to a recording device, whether it's your phone or a separate recorder, then maybe you can get down ideas or fully talk out your book while you're driving to work or on a road trip. I've personally never tried dictating because I don't know how good I would be at it. I have a better time writing than I do speaking. Trust me, if you saw the amount of things I have to clip out of these videos, my goodness. Now that I'll have this new full-time job, I'll be commuting at least an hour to work there and back, so I plan to use this time to listen to audiobooks, podcasts, and YouTube videos as a way to learn. And I might try dictating to my phone. Maybe. Number 3. This one I do get mixed emotions and thoughts on whenever I do talk about it. It's definitely not for everyone, but try to keep an open mind. This one has 3 different parts to it. I'm talking about workouts here. So part 1 is jotting down ideas or writing in between your lifting sets. If you're someone who can function doing this, totally give it a try, because I do this quite often, to be honest. I finish my set, I set a timer for my desired rest time, I open whatever writing app I want, whether it's Word or just the general notepad, Google Docs, whatever, and I write until the timer goes. And then once that timer goes, I will stop mid-sentence, mid-word, whatever it is, and then I get back to my weights. Now, I understand a lot of people can't do this because they go to the gym to escape, to relax, whatever the case may be. But for me, I don't mind it. I think it's definitely okay. I don't feel like I'm losing the escapism that it could bring some people, but again, everybody's different. Now, I'm not saying you necessarily have to full-blown write your novel on your phone at the gym, but sometimes I even just open up the phone notepad because the song I'm listening to is really triggering some sort of inspiration, and I want to get those ideas down so later I don't forget them. Part 2 of this weird workout idea is while you're doing cardio, you can definitely write. Now, I don't recommend necessarily typing when you're on the treadmill, especially if you're going at a faster pace, but this is something you can 100% do on the bike. It's similar to what I said about jotting things down in between sets. However, you're just doing your steady state cardio on the bike. You can easily write on your phone, in your Word app, Google Docs, whatever you're using, in your notepad, maybe listening to some really inspirational music, and it's a good way to just get some thoughts out. Part 3 of this is actually something I very much do while I'm doing cardio, and it's very similar to the driving thing. Listening to YouTube videos, audiobooks, anything like that where you can just expand and grow your mind, research and learn your craft. Using this opportunity to learn something. If you're walking on the treadmill for an hour, why not just pop on a podcast and learn something? It doesn't even have to be about making better sentences. It could be about how marketing your book, how to start an AuthorTube channel. And again, I understand that exercise can be an escape for people and they don't really want to be working while they're working out. But for me, I find this really helps, and I did suggest it to someone once and they kind of scoffed at it, and then later on they told me they tried it and they actually didn't mind doing it, especially the listening to stuff at the gym. The 4th point I want to talk about is utilizing your breaks at work. So if you're someone that has a 9-to-5 job, a part-time job, or something that isn't writing related and you want to maximize more time, you can utilize your breaks. Again, this might be something that doesn't work for you because you want to use your break to unwind and relax, maybe have a snack or lunch. But honestly, lunchtime or break time can be really beneficial because sometimes you have anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes or more, depending on your job, to sit down and get some work done. And because you're limited for time, you won't have a lot of time to overthink and edit as you're writing. Or if you want to use that time for extra editing, that's totally cool too. But the thing is, you'll be on a time crunch. So at the end of the day, this actually might help you learn to write faster. It might not be pristine and perfect, but it'll help you get over the fact of, oh, that sentence was garbage, I need to go back and edit. This way you can just write, and hopefully have something at the end of the day. Let's say your lunch break is 60 minutes. Remember what I said about if you even have 4 hours a week? Well, if you do work 5 days a week, that's already 5 hours right there that you could possibly be writing. Are you someone that binge watches TV? Or not even binge watch, forget that for a second. Are you someone who mindlessly binge watches TV? And I'm talking like you've thrown on Netflix or Disney Plus or whatever streaming service, cable TV, whatever, and you have it on, but you're just sitting on your phone. Like you're not paying attention to it, but you're scrolling through social media. Well, look no further, this is point number 5. If you're going to be scrolling on your phone anyways and you're not even paying attention to the show or movie you've put on, why not utilize that time to write? You could still sit in bed or sit on the couch or wherever you're stationed, but pull out that writing app I talked about. Pull up your Google Docs, your Word, your notepad, jot down ideas, start writing your novel, or better yet, throw your laptop on your lap if you have one, and type away. You can still kind of hear the TV in the background. You're not really paying attention anyways, so you might as well utilize this time a little bit more efficiently. I know some of these ideas aren't for everyone because you want time to unwind and relax, but they are small ways to maximize your writing time. I could go over way bigger ways to maximize your writing time, like literally giving up time to hang out with friends. But let's be real, we're not always going to want to do that. we're human. We want social company time. But these are just small extra ways that you can really grow yourself as an author. I relate writing a lot like the gym. A lot of people will say, well, I could never do that because I don't have the time. I can't go to the gym because I don't have time. I can't do this writing because I don't have time. When you break your day apart, you will find that you have so much extra time. And I get it. Some people are super busy. Some people are parents. I'm not a parent unless you count being a cat mom, so I can't really relate to that. But I guarantee at some point you have some sort of free time to utilize these tricks. I hope you found some of these ideas useful, or at the very least, they've triggered some sort of inspiration that you could pull from your everyday life. These are all just small micro doses of ways that you could add more writing or editing into your life to get something done. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. I always appreciate everyone's support, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye!